my question for you is, how can I understand my body messages? Because back in December, when I was at the gym with my instructor, I hurt my knee. I had a tear in my meniscus in my right knee, and I was guided with my work. I was on a jumping rope, and he was telling me to do skips. And then I remembered my childhood, and I used to love, to do the jumping rope, and I was doing it fast, and I hit the ground, and I hurt my meniscus. So I was, thinking that why am I pushing myself all the time, and a bit more, just not enough with what I have now. I want to understand what is this bringing me, because I was working for the past 2 years on slowing down.
Right.
And this awareness is bringing me a lot of answers. But I want to understand why I'm not yet able to slow down.
Does it bring you joy being?
Yes, because I can just be and appreciate the present moment,
Yeah.
not always racing my mind, because a lot of time I tell my mind, shut up, I manage you, you don't manage me. Because it's always, what's next, what's next, what's next. And then
Yeah.
خلاص يعني you reach a point where I don't want to listen to you anymore. I tell you what to do. You don't always tell me, because I finish a task and then the next one is immediately after, and then next. It never stops. It never stops. So I'm really happy, and my body is happy also, to just be from time to time and just do nothing. It's really nice. But I don't understand what is this message bringing me, my need to just forcing me to slow down? I don't know.
Well, what have you had to do because of your knee?
Yeah, that's true. I had to take care of myself more.
Okay. And so that might be just the simple answer. You had to take care of yourself a bit more. How is it feeling now?
I used to feel it selfish, but now that I think again, no,
Yeah. So how's your knee now? Is it mended?
much better, because I took care of myself and I rested. And a lot of things when I do, I think twice. Why doing it this way? If I can ask for help and somebody can do it for me, which wasn't easy for me to ask for help before. So
No.
it's bringing a lot of awareness here, but still I'm not slowing down. I'm always a very active person.
And so when you say you're not slowing down and you're active, there's still something. So when you're saying you're active, sorry, are you saying that you don't want to be active?
No, I like to be active, and I
Yeah.
like to be, productive and helping, and finishing things in my family, because
Mm.
I'm a lawyer, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a Reiki master, so I do healing sessions. I am a mom of two girls. They are 24 and 30, but still, it's a home that it's functioning. So I have to be active to get things done, because we are family. Sometimes I really appreciate just being, doing nothing, and I make sure that during the day I have these moments where I have to cut the day in two and just rest. And I always love my me morning, my early morning hour, that
Yeah.
is for me before the house starts to wake up. So it's just for me to recharge. Now it's easier than when my kids were younger. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The problem is that I need to constantly, maybe, remind myself that I have to slow down, because I'm not there yet.
So it sounds like a pattern. So when you're saying, that whole movement in your mind that is encouraging you to be busy, we could look at that in the same way as when I was talking to Pam earlier about an invitation. So if you notice the thought coming up, oh, I need to be doing something, it's just taking a moment to say, well, do I actually need to be doing that right now? And just giving yourself permission to explore whether or not you need to make that movement, whether you want to as well, whether it gives you pleasure to do the thing or whether it doesn't give you pleasure, because there's nothing wrong with activity, but it's when things become out of balance that the problem arises. And when we're racing and in that urgency pattern to move forward, then that's not being so present, and that's when things become imbalanced and create burnout. And
True, because it did. Because
yeah,
20 years back, I had a disc in my back and a
yeah,
disc in my neck. And this is how my yoga journey started and the healing journey started. But yeah, I used to push myself a lot that my body couldn't take it anymore.
yeah. And so something similar happened there with your knee, by the sound of it. So your body is helping you out by saying, okay, we recognize that there are times when you just need to take a moment to look after yourself, or to just to nourish yourself in a way that isn't necessarily about being active. So it's most likely that that pattern is come from childhood, as it usually most of our patterns tend to, what you observed as a child, what you witnessed, what you were valued for. Were you valued for doing as opposed to being?
Yeah, yeah. My mom used to work a lot at home and outside home. So, but I think I have this idea that I don't want to reach, later in age and I won't be able to do my things and be independent. I want to still be mobile, independent in everything I do.
So why does that thought come in?
Maybe because I see my mom on a wheelchair, because this is how she ended up.
There you go.
8 years on a wheelchair after a brain stroke. So,
Right. Yes. So
early.
there it is that I don't want to be like that. I want this for myself and I want that for myself. The key here is just to be guided by that inner feeling, being in touch with that inner essence, that inner being, that inner soul of you. And that's why I'm saying just take a pause for a moment when your mind invites you into something active. Is this good for me? Is this helpful? Is this something I really want to do?
Usually I do a small exercise. I just ask myself and I see how my body reacts. If there's
Yeah.
tension, if there's happiness or joy in it, how am I feeling? Because I always drop to my heart and feel. And this helped. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing to do.
And so it's just noticing that sometimes we are driven by fear as well, and
Um,
our thoughts are driven by the fear of what might happen. And so, you're witnessing something in your mum that is quite difficult to witness, actually, because you can see where her quality of life is right now. But also, her life story does not have to be yours.
of
You,
course.
so, but there is still something to learn from that. So there's extremes there. It's having a really, really busy life, and then having the back end of your life being completely still and unable to move. And there's balance in all things.
Yeah, I always say in my mind, it's her story, not mine.
Yeah.
Mm.
But there's also knowing that,
Mm,
really, really knowing that, and also being okay with whatever comes for you. Where we talk about that surrender, that idea of surrender into those two extremes, like Kim was talking about earlier. You don't know what will happen to you.
true.
None of us do. None of us know what the future holds for us. Can we be okay with that? We can't control it. Like I say, life is just going on around us all the time. It's still unfolding, and I think very often we feel like I've got some control over it, and Really? Have we?
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
the question. So it always comes back to do what you love, do what feels great. If it's feeling like too much, well, can you just step back and be still? You know, do I have to have this rule for myself that I have to be this or I have to be that? Can I let go of the rules? Can I
Mm.
follow the inspiration of the day? Can I be in a place of enjoyment, whatever I'm doing?
Is it related to a part of my childhood? Because now it came up in my mind, because I used to have asthma when I was little. And I have this memory that I used to run around the dining table, escaping the doctor and the needle, because he used to shot me medicine to relieve my asthma. But I used to hate it. I used to escape. And then I have this, I don't know why, maybe I was 4, 5, 6 years, I don't remember, but I was little and I used to run and escape from them. So does this relate somehow to all this?
Well, the question that comes is, what are you running away from now?
Now, no, I
No,
have
but
much more inner peace than before.
yeah,
And the yoga philosophy helps me a lot to be aware on so many things and to change a lot of limiting beliefs that don't resonate with me now. And I don't carry it anymore from the
yeah,
generations and my
that's
family.
beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful, and that could be, so it's less about whether or not you want to run away from something, more of is there a pattern inside of you that wants to be speeded
Mm.
up and wants to speed up away from something. There's just a question. It's explore it at your leisure. The other thing that just comes to me in terms of asthma is that it's so oppressive when you can't breathe, when you can't take the world in because of for whatever's it was like for you growing up in that environment where in what ways could you not expand? And as you think about that, you can also hold that thought of, my life is different from my mother's.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.